We always make decisions based on feelings, and then we use logics to just justify and confirm that our decision was right. So when we have this process of building the feeling, the brand, that's what it is. Creating a feeling that will help people decide to choose you. Today, we're going to talk about healthcare marketing and branding strategies. And there are going to be different strategies that most healthcare providers heard about, because these do not rely on advertising. Instead, they are helping you build a very strong brand, build relationships, produce some educational content, have a lot of fun doing this, and at the same time create such a magnet for business development that your practice can grow and you can help a lot of people. Today, we'll be touching on some cool concepts like the content pyramid strategy with a ripple effect and how you can make it easy if you're doing long-form content or if you're speaking. We will be talking about how you can use podcasting to grow your practice and to give a lot of value to your community. We will also talk about some collaborative partnership strategies and how you can use the feature on Instagram that will help you feature other people, give them value, and also build referral network along with these cool clips that can be floating around as value to other people. Before we get to all the cool stuff, because there's going to be a lot more, for the people who are going to be watching on a replay, they will be able to either comment below the video or they can contact me directly through the website that you can see in front of us. The concepts that we're going to be talking about, I think, are very important for you to know. We are not going to go 17 layers deep, but each one of these strategies can really move the needle for you, and I'm excited to share. So PYB, polish your business. Our company is on a mission, and everything that we do is because we want to promote integrative healthcare. There are so many people who go from doctor to doctor. They follow recommendations, and sometimes, many times, they still don't feel better. I strongly believe, and we have a personal story for those of you who are here, I strongly believe that integrative healthcare is the solution. It gives people hope. That's what we want to promote. So all these new healthcare marketing and branding strategies, all these tactics, all the connections that you get, there is one big context that I want everybody to remember, is that we want to connect healthcare providers. We want to promote and make it easy for you, amazing people, to help other people, because there is a big problem in healthcare. And if we can do something to change it, instead of complaining, we're going to do what we do. One of the things that would be cool for you to have, and some of you I know who are here, you already have a version of this, but some of you don't, is a media kit, because you want to be invited on different appearances. You may want to be invited on a podcast. You may want to be invited on stages. And it would be good for people, instead of asking somebody to research you, to find out who you are and what questions to ask you and what the credibility is behind your name. You can send them a one-pager like this or similar. It should not be perfect because it will evolve, and I already see some things that I would like to change on mine as well. But I wanted to share this concept with you, that preparing a media kit is one of the important strategic things that you can do, because after a quick meeting with somebody, you can send this one pager to a corporation to do a wellness event. You can send that to a podcast host or their team to invite you on a podcast, and it will allow people to not only contact you, understand what you do, see your credibility, but also it will help people do it very quickly. So you are giving them value. And talking about value, everything in this webinar and everything that we do is designed to give you value. So when we talk about value, I wanted to share a value equation that I think is very important for all of us to consider, because everybody talks about value and talks about benefits to cost ratio. And that's really cool, but how does it actually practically apply? How can we break it up for people to really see the value that we can give to others, and also that we can evaluate value that is coming from other people to us? So here's a gentle suggestion to consider all these. On the benefits side, I strongly recommend considering outcomes, speed, experience, and assets. On the cost, money, time, discomfort, and liabilities. Let me just stop for 1 second. So for functional medicine doctors here, outcomes. How quickly can you give people measurable outcomes? That's important for a chiropractor. So are you able to help them? What is the result that they get? Speed is the how quickly part. How quickly can you give the outcome to them? Because if you can provide outcomes super quickly, automatically your program is going to be much more valuable. Then it's experience. It's not only your experience as a practitioner, but it's also the experience that you give people who interact with you. You want to make sure that they have good experience with you, and then they can enjoy the process as they go along with you. At the same time, your experience allows you to give better outcomes faster. And then assets. This is one thing that a lot of people forget. And in marketing, there is a really big problem with this because when people push ads, I see this as a huge risk. What is left? What assets are you left as a healthcare provider? It's important to consider what assets, what type of assets you can give to your patients or clients. So, for example, maybe you give a checklist, maybe you give a strategy, maybe you give some resources, some studies, maybe you give an exercise protocol that they can use even long after your treatment program is complete. Just think about assets that you can give to your clients. I think it's very valuable and it's part of the value equation as I see it. On the bottom side, of course, cost. A lot of people think about money, but money is not the only thing. It's the time required for the service. How many meetings, how many treatment sessions do you require? How many consultations do you require to achieve a certain outcome? Discomfort is another thing that I would like to suggest that is important to limit for people. For functional medicine coaches, it would be really important to give programs that are actually realistic for people to limit that discomfort. And if there is a discomfort attached to changing a diet, for example, we can also have some mitigation strategies to limit that discomfort for them and just make it easy. Maybe it's the coaching component. And then liabilities. We also want to limit risks for people. And that's one thing that is very often ignored. Remember, there are some strategies we can share with you on risk management as well. It's part of the value equation. So today you'll be learning how to use video marketing strategies to grow your practice. Get more collaborating partners who can actively refer to you. Integrate your marketing and branding with business development. That's very important because that should not be two separate things. One should be part of the other. Have your online brand do the talking for you so you can save time. Use podcasting to get new business. Leverage the power of AI tools managed for you by people who care. Create video content strategy from long form content to reels. Grow your brand organically as much as possible because it will save you money on ads, and also keep what you invest in and get compounding returns over time because these strategies work for you for years, way after the actions are complete. And also you can consider additional support from people who integrate with your existing team. I'm not only talking about our agency, I'm talking about considering additional support that can come from AI tools, different agencies, and how do you evaluate which one is going to be good and which one actually can integrate with your existing team. All right, using video marketing strategies to grow your practice. Some providers, and some of you here, I know you don't struggle with this and you are good with ideas and the video types to record. There are some other challenges, but this is not a problem. There are also some providers who really struggle. What type of content can I record? And before they start, they would like to know. So here are some video types that you can consider. Educational content that also includes courses. So some can be public view and some can be behind the paywall or for a special, selected group of people. Frequently asked questions and how-to videos. If you want to know what's relevant to people, if you actually have frequently asked questions about your programs and your services, that's a really good type of content to record. Testimonials. Instead of telling people that you do a good job, it's better to use other people's help to say that you're doing a good job by capturing testimonials, reviews, etc. Treatment demonstration videos. This will apply to chiropractic offices and other therapies that are much more in person. But I also wanted to gently suggest that it's also very applicable to remote coaching and consulting and treatment programs, because you can also demonstrate certain things with a screen share, just like I'm doing with the webinar. And you can maybe, hide somebody's name and talk about certain, blood work results and the ratios. And you can also demonstrate your treatment and your expertise. Podcasting, also updates, industry updates, what's happening in the functional medicine industry, clinic updates, what's happening in our clinic. We added a new service, collaborations, practitioners, influencers. You can record content together with them or about them and feature collaborating partners, and also webinars. Some strategies to consider: leveraging the power of social media, of course, and many people talk about it, but how do you do it in the very easy, the easy way, instead of making it very, very difficult? There are some strategies for that. Target market content marketing. So knowing who you are talking to and making content that is actually relevant to them. Optimizing videos for SEO, and that's especially important on YouTube and Facebook. Google owns YouTube, so your YouTube SEO not only helps you with YouTube as the number two search engine, but it also helps you on Google searches. And also Facebook, when the videos are properly optimized, these videos show up on Google searches. That's beautiful. I can give you some examples on individual consulting sessions in the future. Repurposing and resurfacing content, reuse additional languages, etc. There are some cool strategies to repurpose existing content that saves you time, but also resurface the content, because on Instagram, pretty much 48 hours is the whole duration of the content hype, and then it becomes old news. So there are ways that you can resurface the content later. And just keep in mind, it's a good idea to save these, graphic posts and reuse educational videos and republish some of them later or reshare them later as stories. Getting more collaborating partners who will actively refer to you. So people sometimes focus on these partners much more as a business development strategy right away, instead of focusing on giving them value. So here's an example that I wanted to touch on the collaborative post feature, and then we're going to go to a very realistic scenario that you can have right now. So Dr. Porter recorded a podcast with Misha Tate. That podcast was the long form video. From the long form, we created a reel. That reel was published on Dr. Porter's social media, but then we also invited Misha Tate and BrainTap, Dr. Porter's company, as collaborating partners, which means that the same reel, the same video shows up on all these accounts. And while for Dr. Porter, the average video view count is much smaller, Misha Tate happens to be pretty famous, and it really helped the engagement and the organic reach without paying for any of these, video views or likes. So this very simple feature, the practical application is so easy. Instead of just tagging people there, you can invite them as collaborating partners, and then your content shows up on their social media as well. So how can you use this strategy in a more realistic scenario where maybe you don't have a famous collaborating partner who's waiting to create content for you or with you? There could be an acupuncturist next door to a chiropractor. There could be a genetic expert, who we have here as well, right next to a functional medicine coach who has a slightly different angle, and you can co-create content. Maybe it's a podcast, and if you both have social media, now your content can be floating around on both of them, and you, as the primary account holder and editing the content, you will be able to give value to the other person, because the content just shows up without them worrying about editing it, about the cost and other things. And if you give value like this to collaborating partners, they will naturally remember about you. And of course, there are some cool strategies to, when you give a lot of value, to turn it into active referrals. How do we integrate our marketing and branding with business development? One of the things to consider is the leverage and the power of AI tools. So we need to make sure that we have shortcuts. So instead of using just one ROI, return on investment, sometimes, especially back in the old days when I was the only guy, with a cell phone trying to sell my service and present my service, the doctor would say, well, So I give you money, I give you X, and what's coming back to me? How many leads? How many new patients? And then this is like the example on the right that you can see my hand is in a specific position. And I tell them, with all due respect, your hand is in the wrong position, because it's not about I give you this and then how many leads do I get back. That's traditional direct response marketing. In the approach that I'm talking about, we can turn our hand sideways like this, and then we can show five and consider at least five different returns on investment, ROIs, from even a simple piece of content, which could be the brand asset. Something stays with you for a very long time and can serve you. You can have educated patients because of this strategy. Organic reach goes up instead of always relying on ads. Sales and money, of course, you can have your call to action. You can have your website attached to it and other ways to generate sales and money. You can optimize the video for SEO. And that's how one simple educational piece of content can be connected to business development, but not only one way on the leads and new patient side, new client side. There's also five different ways that you can consider. And there's more referrals, relationship, networking. I'm just encouraging providers to always try to find five different returns of investment from actions they do when it comes to marketing and branding. Dr. Joy, who we have supported in growing her brand online, she's talking about the major difference and the impact to have her brand online help do the talking, save time, generate a lot of patients. And that's, with a lot of fun doing this. So I encourage all of you to watch the video if you have time. It's a podcast interview together, and we dive a little bit deeper into some strategies that are here as well. All right, using podcasting to get new business. I couldn't fit all the playlists of podcasts here, but I wanted to give you some examples. Using video podcasts can be extremely easy for you because you can have a video conversation on Zoom, just like we had before we started recording, and then you can hit record and upload this on YouTube. This is the easiest possible way to start a podcast. And of course, it's not going to be professional and perfect, but it's a really good way to start. You can then create a playlist on YouTube, and that playlist can also be classified on YouTube. There is a setting that you can classify that playlist as a podcast, and you actually just started a podcast. But another level of this is to have the proper edit of the podcast, to have the custom thumbnails that you can see here with your brand and your style. You can also optimize the video for SEO, put direct links to your collaborating partners. If you have some affiliate links there, you can also use the affiliate links in the podcast video description. You can then repurpose that podcast for audio. You can repurpose that podcast for shorter videos and reels, and you can use it to get new business because you're featuring your amazing collaborating partners, giving them value by doing this, featuring them much more than you're featuring yourself on that podcast. And as a result, the natural way that good people function is they want to say thank you, and that can bring you new business. Leveraging the power of AI tools managed for you by people who care. So ideally, I would like you to have a structure so other people can find AI tools for you and manage them for you. We can do it. Other people can do it as well for you. But even if you don't have a team of people managing these AI tools, there are really cool websites. Like, for example, there is AI for that website. If you go to that website, you can present a problem, and the website is going to find you AI tools to solve that particular problem. I want to create a logo. I want to create a media kit. I want to edit videos, create short form content. It will give you a ton of options, and then you can start exploring these because they will save you a ton of time. And of course, our giant here, ChatGPT, very important to consider different prompting strategies on ChatGPT. We use it every single day, and it saves a ton of time. It always needs to be managed by people who understand the context because ChatGPT and other AI tools make mistakes. But if you have a little bit of calibration from you or other people, these AI tools can dramatically increase the results and make everything much faster. You no longer need to have a team of 10 people when you use a few powerful AI tools and have one or two team members. You can do the same as a 10 to 20 people team. Grow your brand organically to save money on ads. The reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I see it done the right way, and I also see people who really struggle when they do it the wrong way, and I just want to give them examples of the ones who do it right. Here's an example of a home or a house that is so beautiful, but it's built in a way that if this pillar disappeared, that whole house would collapse. And unfortunately, a lot of healthcare providers build their whole business like this. They really rely on Facebook ads, Google ads, local advertisements in newspapers. What if that disappears? What if something happens to these platforms? You do not want your whole practice to collapse because of this. So, what I'm saying and I'm suggesting, build a strong foundation, your brand, and build on top of that foundation so you don't have to have one pillar, but you can have multiple pillars that are not relying on the cash flow that has to go out for these ads because that can be very, very painful, but instead allow you to focus on things that you love doing the most. And talking about a good structure, keep what you invest in, unlike ads. This is what we keep repeating to people. Assets. Your YouTube channel can be a very valuable asset, not only for patient education and from the patient and client onboarding perspective, for collaborating partners to look you up and be able to understand your value, time-saving benefit, but it also is a very valuable asset that can serve multiple different purposes. Here's an example of what we created for Dr. Patrick Porter, the inventor of BrainTap. He's on a mission to better a billion brains. We have a podcast playlist. We have his BrainTap Inventor playlist. There are more playlists on the bottom. I just wasn't able to fit everything here, but I want you to see that some of these videos are very strategically placed to save him time. And when people look him up, he doesn't have to explain so much. It's a very powerful asset that also has the compounding returns over time. It's a digital asset that also continues to stay within the practice, even if you decide to sell your practice. Keep that in mind as well. I listed a few different benefits here that the YouTube channel can give you, but there is a whole lot more. Here's another YouTube channel. This is not for a speaker and for a personal brand, but this is for a red light therapy device, full body red light therapy with Trifecta, our client. Another example, you see very different style. Dr. Porter has different colors, different fonts, different vibe. That's a different style. And there is one video we wanted to stand out because it's a PR piece of content that is designed to feature red light therapy in the news, and we wanted it to stand out. So on purpose, this thumbnail is different, but you can see you can have a specific style, feature video testimonials, videos for providers, etc., etc. And then there is another example here, Clarksville Crossing Dental, a dental client. He didn't have any social media, any YouTube, any experience doing videos. And right now, some of his videos still get almost no views, but surprisingly to him, and not to us because we have seen that before, some of the videos really are so powerful on YouTube, even though he doesn't consider himself YouTuber. This one video has currently 81,000 views. Tooth extraction and what to do next. Another one, tooth sensitivity, 40,000 views. He's so happy with this because this also saves him as a digital asset that helps him not convince, but show his patients that he is the right solution for them. He is the right place for them. And when you see anybody connected to our network, Trifecta Red Light Therapy, BrainTap, and Dr. Patrick Porter, you may see other companies. Keep in mind, there is also the affiliated component of this. If you need anything from any of these companies, let me know because we have collaborative agreements, affiliate agreements with them. We can save you a lot of money on this. And on top of it, we can make direct introductions, which can mean that they could be your affiliates as well in the future. I'm saying this not because it's good for us to promote our own affiliates. I'm saying this because you can consider an affiliate strategy to grow your business, to grow your practice. And maybe instead of recommending different tools for your patients or clients, you can recommend them and have an affiliate relationship with people. So for your patients and clients, you save them time. They don't pay anything more, they can actually pay less. And then for you, that's an additional passive revenue stream for your practice. I think it's pretty cool. All right, our content pyramid strategy. I absolutely love this concept because it's so easy for healthcare providers. Many providers go to do a seminar. There is a little bit of excitement or a lot of excitement. People in the room remember it 2 days later, 3 days later. They kind of forget what was said, and then it becomes old news. Nobody captures this. My strong recommendation, if you do a seminar, if you do any long form potential piece of content, have that recorded for you, even if you don't have a video team, because even later on, you can repurpose it. So content pyramid strategy, as you see on the bottom, we can look at it two different ways. One way is the duration of content. So on the bottom, you will have this long form video. That could be a longer presentation like Dr. Porter did for our chiropractic friends here in Maryland at the Maryland Chiropractic Association. Within this one presentation, there were many topics. So we broke the video down into different topical videos for Alzheimer's and dementia, how to improve your brain, light therapy, etc., mindset and health. And then we created shorter pieces of content like reels, and that allowed us to publish content for approximately, I'm guessing here because I don't remember, but 4 to 6 months, long period of time of content mixed in with other pieces of content, and very, very engaging for people, and also leading to more views on that main video. This content pyramid strategy can also be with a ripple effect. So imagine this little drop here. That's your main piece of content. That's the big one. That's the full video. Before you release the full video, just like a ripple, first you can tease people a little bit and talk about something that is upcoming. And then you can have the main piece, and as an echo after that main piece, you can start releasing content that drives the traffic back to that video and helps resurface the content over time. I think the strategy is very simple in concept, simple to implement, but a lot of people don't do it. There is also the number of pieces of content view of this strategy. So instead of looking at the duration of the video or duration of the content, we can look at the number of pieces. And then there's only one on the top, which is the long form video, more topical videos, way more reels or shorts. And this way you will be able to look at the pyramid from both ways, however you prefer. Consider additional support from people who integrate with your existing team. So this is representing how we work, but I want you to also evaluate different agencies with a similar approach. Ideally, if you want somebody to do work for you, the contract should be month to month. Because if you delegate work and you don't know if they're good, make sure that you're not locked in a really long contract. I think it's very important. What we do is we do a setup at the beginning, and some of you already know here on Zoom, because it's so important to calibrate before we start deploying content. Then, depending on the speed that people prefer, you have a period of time where there is a little bit more intense brand transformation, and then we drop it to some kind of a maintenance or even per project, and we can train your team to do things independently, or we can train you to do things independently after. I think this approach is very, very comfortable for healthcare providers. So do keep this in mind. And also when you evaluate other healthcare marketing agencies, have something similar and ask them what outcomes you can expect and by when. And talking about evaluating different healthcare marketing agencies, keep in mind that value equation. The way that you can apply it is for outcomes, you can ask them, what can you expect short term and long term? Speed, how fast they work and how they communicate. Experience, giving you examples, different case studies. Assets, what digital assets they're going to produce for you. I really think that advertising agencies that solely rely on ads, and because they don't really give you these assets, I think it's a very high risk. So consider companies that are giving you these assets. Also, money, is the amount reasonable and flexible? How much of your time will be required to manage them? How do they limit your discomfort? Maybe they can help you with some recordings. Maybe they can help you with a process improvement checklist or something that we do through the mastermind that some of you already experienced. Liabilities. Is there any risk management? Do they understand how to market for a healthcare provider? There are different regulations. There are FDA regulations. There are some other regulations to keep in mind. I don't pretend to be a lawyer when I'm not, but I have more awareness about some of these mechanisms. And I see that sometimes healthcare providers will hire somebody who does construction companies marketing, and now they apply the same concepts to healthcare. I think it's very, very risky. And of course, ask them about their strategy. Talking about the strategy, I strongly recommend that you consider having a strategic chart of some sort, especially if you have multiple brands. Some of you here have one brand, but some of you I know already have two brands because there is this personal brand and there is this company brand. And for people to understand what you do, it's important that you really understand what you do. So here is the structure that I propose that you do for your own strategic chart, and I can share this with you as well. On the top, write value propositions. What value types you are giving to people? For us is these: healthcare marketing and branding, business development, and also our doctors networking group and the clinical support that is coming. Mission and tagline. I included this here because everything connects to this integrative healthcare promotion. Brands, we have Polish Your Business. We also have Polish Your Life on the clinical side. And Polish Mike is the person who represents both, and there is a strategy behind the brand image for Polish Mike as well. Then we have strategic delivery of that value. So what are the communication channels? What do you post on social media? What about word of mouth? Which language you're going to use when you communicate about your mission? I think it's very important. Your target audiences for you, it will be different. You can check out what it is for us. And then target market personas. We only have three. We have Dr. Awesome, we have Barbara, and we have Tom. Integrative healthcare provider, individuals looking for clinical solutions, and healthcare influencers. So think about this, and your communication should go this direction from your value propositions to the people that you communicate to. And then the attention should be coming from them to you. So instead of thinking about from your perspective only, we want to get more clients, more patients. Yes, of course. But what's more important is what is it that they want and they need, and focus on their attention and why they should pay attention to you. So how do your patients or clients make decisions? Some people use the logics. Great deal, focus on the mathematical formulas, and they will just convince people logically. And then there is the feeling behind it and the emotional component. You're all very smart, and we always make decisions based on feelings, and then we use logics to just justify and confirm that our decision was right. So when we have this process of building the feeling, this is what I see. The brand, that's what it is. Many different definitions of what branding is. For me, branding is the creating a feeling that will help people decide to choose you. I think it's so important and so much ignored because there is not necessarily the initial and immediate return from creating a brand, but in the long run, everything is revolving around that feeling that people have about you. So please keep in mind that branding is not your logo. It's not a business card. It's not your font and color. These are all different strategies that support your branding. But your brand, I think, is a feeling that will help people decide to choose you. It's not only me saying that it's important. Jeff Bezos, he's pretty powerful. He says your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. And of course, why do they say certain things? Because they feel certain way about you, either positive or negative. So it's important to really consider this. Gary Vaynerchuk, brand storytelling is not about pushing advertising. It's about bringing value. Remember about that value equation. Your brand is the single most important investment you can make in your business. That's Steve Forbes. Many people don't really consider this because, again, the immediate return on this is not obvious, but the long-term return is so important, and it increases the value of your business long term. So, talking about value, we think that if we are valuable, people will automatically pay for that value, but they don't. Otherwise, a lot of providers who are so amazing would never complain about their cash flow. People pay for perceived value. So the process of branding and creating content online also has another purpose, is to increase the perceived value, because that's what people pay for. And money is just, everything is energy, and money is energy. So if you give a lot of value, the energy should come back because it's worth it for them, but they will only do it if the perceived value is high enough to match the sticker price that you are suggesting for your clinical program. Please keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated when you know you're giving so much value and not charging enough. They will pay for the perceived value and how they understand your value. All these people, they all look you up. So just imagine your patients, your clients, your prospects, potential investors for some of you, business partners, even your family member, friend, they look you up. And the question is, what do they see currently? I would suggest Google your name, Google your practice name, see what they see, and really be objective. Is this representing the value that I am bringing to the world? And then start fixing it step by step. Not only Google, YouTube yourself. That's a powerful search engine. Instagram yourself, Facebook yourself, and I will add another one. See what AI thinks about you. Ask AI, especially the ChatGPT 4.0 that is right now available. It will do research. What do you know about Polish Your Business, healthcare marketing and branding agency? Are they good? I did it. I know what ChatGPT thinks of us. I also know how to influence it a little bit. Think about what ChatGPT is thinking about you, because in the future, I think it's not going to be about Google search. It will be about AI search that will do the Google search for you, but on top of it, will browse your website and do all these things within seconds. So what does AI think about you? Because they are looking you up, and really optimize for that answer from ChatGPT or other AI language models to be, yes, they seem to be amazing. And then people will be much more likely to work with you. So what do people see online? When we met Dr. Joy, we had a fantastic project for her to rebrand and to improve her brand image online. She already had a YouTube channel, but you can see there was only no playlist. There was only one strip of videos on the bottom. Yes, I wrote no custom thumbnails. There were some custom thumbnails actually, but they were not strategic and not always used. Number of subscribers was 407. This was not really too powerful. And then after our project is complete, you can see 7,000 subscribers, very different vibe. And how is the content displayed? The long form videos, the podcast that we started for her, the educational videos on the left. And you also see the reels, the short form content. And after the project is complete, we switch to some kind of a maintenance or per project. With Dr. Joy, it's per project. We have great relationship, and this is not something that we have to be hired forever, because we can empower Dr. Joy to get the compounding returns of the brand image online and just build up on top of what we created for her, and only ask us when there are some projects that she needs us to do. But that's what I wanted to show you as an inspiration, how you can get from something that is really not that impressive to something that it actually increases the perceived value, because it explains to people what she does without her even being present, because somebody could be in Australia and watching the video while Dr. Joy is sleeping, and they can come as a patient. Talking about content marketing, people get so confused because there are so many social media platforms. You decide which room you want to go in. Look at them as rooms. You don't have to be in every single one. If you decide to be on LinkedIn, on Google, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, that's the ones you pick. You walk in, and once you walk in, you be yourself and you communicate with people. Don't try to pretend to be somebody else. That will make all your marketing much more effective and easier to produce. So you produce content, and that's what people see, but what they don't see is all the things that are behind the scenes, the social media management, the content production, the strategy. That really takes a lot of effort sometimes. And that's why in our mastermind for healthcare providers, you will see I'm sharing these checklists, strategic tools. Some of them may be, pretty obvious to some, but some of them will save you a ton of time. We want to make it easy for healthcare providers so they don't have to struggle with this big, iceberg on the bottom, and they can make content production much easier. Evaluate your strategy, please. Don't let it overwhelm you. It could be as complicated as this. That's how some healthcare providers see marketing. So many things to look at. You can compartmentalize everything. This could be your strategy. This could be your Facebook, your Instagram, your YouTube channel, your LinkedIn, your Google, your website, your SEO. The question is, do we have a pilot on board? And if you are a pilot and you want to steer this ship or fly the plane, like in this example, you can also invite a co-pilot. Somebody could come and help you a little bit with this. Don't let it overwhelm you that it is complicated. Of course it is, but you don't have to do it all. You just focus on the things that you want to focus on and try to make it easy. Additional tips for business development. We will not be able to go into detail, but always evaluate your business model and adjust it. Like we had this beautiful period of time, beautiful is here in quotation, that we couldn't even see each other. We had to adjust some business models for people because they can do certain things remotely. And without the adjustment, the business would not be able to thrive. So please keep that in mind. Evaluate and adjust your business model. Consider using Trello for project management. I have a video on our YouTube channel. Just put Polish Your Business, Trello, or how to use Trello for project management. That video explains the method that I created here on Trello that combines the Moscow method of the management of the scope of projects with priority settings. And you will see something like this. Doing is the list of things that you're doing currently. What you have done is here. Then you have must do, should do, could do, and ideas for the future. So even if you have an idea for the future, is not a to-do yet, you can put it here, you never forget. It gives you a lot of comfort. When the time is right, you just drag and drop it to doing, and then you can communicate with your team within this one project card to have different things being done, and then you move it to done. It's so simple in concept, and it saves a lot of people time. For years and years, we've been using this on different clients, and this whole template, you don't have to set it up yourself. I can share it with you. So I wrote here, how to make organization easy before it gets busy. It can get really busy, and I just want you to know, even if it's busy, you can make it very easy to manage. So before you implement your strategies, keep in mind these 3 principles. It's important to show your value online. Don't count that people will automatically understand what you do. Show them the value instead of telling them about the value on the inside. Show it on the outside. Remember, progress over perfection. A lot of people try to perfect everything, and we could be 17 steps ahead, but they haven't even started yet. Please embrace progress and embrace mistakes. It's okay. We can always adjust. And business development needs social media, especially for healthcare providers. So many times I've heard, I'm done with this. I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to be an influencer. I just want to treat patients. Your business is like your baby. Sometimes we have to change the diaper and look at it as something that we do for our business, that even if you don't love it, it's part of the process. It will help your business grow, just like you help your baby grow. And you're not even blinking when you have to change your diaper. For those of you who've been through this, it's easier than people think, but only with the right mindset. Remember to polish your business, to show your value, and also consider the cost of lost opportunities if you don't show your value online. People always focus on the outgoing. I need to invest X and Y and Z to grow my business. And that's true, and it's painful, but they don't consider somebody who's looking them up online today, and the husband tells his wife, I don't know, baby. And they don't come. You don't feel it, you don't hear it, but there is a lost opportunity there. And if you had more value online shown to people, I think it would be very, very helpful, both for your clients and patients and for you. So once again, let's connect. I encourage all of you who are watching on a replay to connect. Go to polishyourbusiness.com. You can also go to mike.com and see all the different things that I'm doing to help healthcare providers to promote integrative healthcare. We are here for you, super excited to support good people. And I want you to remember, it does not have to be difficult, because if you do it the easy way, with support, with tools, it can be a lot of fun.